sponsors. There we go. All right, we're all sticking around, hopefully. You guys, thank you. Lisa, thank you so much. We serve. Thank you to our sponsors, Jonah with WFG National Title, Paige, National Health and Wealth Advisors, and Chris Lawler, Nova Home Loans. You guys, you're in for a great session today. Really excited to cover Google Business Profiles, why you need one, how to set that up, how to optimize that for success, and why it is arguably your most important online profile. So I've been in the marketing technology space for real estate for almost 20 years. I used to own an ad agency. I used to manage a 250 agent brokerage with 3 offices. I have my broker's license actually in Arizona, where we're at now. And so, I understand your guys' challenges. I know what works and what doesn't. After speaking with almost 11,000 agents, 9,300 agents actually it is now over the last 11 years as a digital marketing coach and trainer and speaker. And so, really excited to go through this with you. This is. You probably have heard about this. You may actually have a Google Business Profile. So if you don't have one, we're going to get you set up. If you do have one, we're going to set you up for success with that. Okay, so there's a little something for everybody in today's session. You guys, and by the way, if you have any questions, unmute yourself, go ahead and ask. You won't interrupt me at all. Or type that question right into chat. I'm going to monitor that as we go through here as well. Okay, you guys, sound like a plan? Should we dive in? Awesome. Okay, so I explained a little bit of who I am. And again, I help agents with digital marketing. So I take a psychology-driven approach, which is really, in essence, I understand human behavior and how we can create more influence in our business. I had a 60-episode podcast where I covered influence, and I interviewed some of the most influential people, not just in real estate, but outside of real estate, to figure out how they created the influence that drove their business, how they ended up developing themselves into authorities through the creation of influence, right? And just so you're aware, the oversimplified way to do that is to simply create a voice for yourself, voice your opinion publicly, whether it's on a stage in person or on a stage like social media or YouTube, something like that. Okay, because those people that have established themselves as authorities, they're the ones that are getting the lion's share of business, because people want to work with the best, with an expert, an authority, a thought leader. Okay, so let's jump in here. You guys, I've mentioned this in quite a few of my sessions, but we live at a time where visibility trumps ability, especially as it relates to the onset of a relationship. If somebody's meeting you for the first time, getting to know you, maybe it's a lead, someone you met at an open house, a referral, your visibility, which is basically your ability to show up in a powerful and meaningful way online, trumps your ability to successfully close a transaction for them. So this is us shaping, cultivating, really nurturing our visibility online. Okay, because what we know is that over 90% of adults use search engines, not just to find information on the web, but also to vet us out. They're searching for us. They're going, who's Tina Faust? I'm going to search for her. I'm going to plug her name into Google. What is Google going to say about her? Okay, and so we want to shape that. We want to ensure that when they do that, they see something that looks really good, that causes them to want to move forward with us. Okay, so let's just quickly set the stage for how people search for us. Okay, so these are some basic things, but it's really important that you know this. First and foremost, they're going to type in your first and last name. Now, they're not going to type in the first and last name that maybe the Department of Real Estate has on file for you. They're going to type the first and last name of, using the name that somebody told them, right? So if you have a nickname, or you have you use a variation in your day-to-day life, a variation of what the Department of Real Estate has on file, you may want to kind of dive into that a little bit and go, what are people going to be searching for? Because that's really all that matters, right? Is what they're searching for. And in addition, your name is your brand, right? It's a really important and powerful piece of your brand. So we have to make sure we're consistent with our name everywhere, right? So naming consistency. So when people search for us, they're going to type our first and last name into Google. Now, if they don't find exactly what they're looking for right away, and they're not going to scroll much, okay, we found that that studies show that our buyers and sellers, they're not going to look past the first 7 results. And if they don't see us in the first 7, they're going to add the word realtor or real estate into that search. And then they may also add, and if they don't find what they're looking for there, they may add the brokerage or the actual city name where we're going to potentially assist them in buying or selling a home in. So it'd be like, Aaron Lacey, Phoenix, or Aaron Lacey, HomeSmart. Okay. So we need to understand what those searches look like for us. We need to search all those out. So our first and last name, what shows up? First and last name realtor, what shows up? First and last name real estate, what shows up? First and last name brokerage, first and last name city name. You guys, do the results change based on those searches? We need to, again, not only understand what shows up, but number 2, we need to manage the perception of what shows up. So we need to be in control of that real estate on Google, especially those top 7 results. Okay. So this isn't an online presence training session, right? I actually have a full separate training just for online presence, for managing Google search results. This is all about the Google business profile. But I wanted to kind of set the stage for you here just to get you thinking about your online presence and how important it is to your ability to drive business to yourself. I'm seeing agents that are losing a substantial amount of business because they have an inconsistent online presence. They don't have a Google business profile. They have no idea what shows up for them when somebody searches for them online. Okay. And what happens when somebody searches for you online and they see your name's different, your headshots are different, you got profiles of, maybe a realtor.com profile without a headshot. There's no bios. There's no, storytelling, captivating background or cover photos on your profiles. We miss out, or we reduce our opportunity to convert them, to work with them. Okay. So again, perception is reality. We need to make sure we formulate that perception. Sabine said, I noticed that if I any other search engine instead of Google, my Google business does not come up at all. That's correct. So this is a Google specific profile. If you're searching using Yahoo or DuckDuckGo or another search engine, your Google business profile will not show up. But what we're finding is that over 90% of people searching for something on the internet are using Google as the default search engine. So that's why we're tapping into Google here today. Okay. So again, we can't really, accommodate everybody, but we're going to try to accommodate as many people as we can. And here's a few other things I want to mention. Almost 50% of people that search for us online found something that made them decide they did not want to do business with us. Found one thing. And frequently I'll do what I call an online audit, where I'll sit down with an agent, we'll, over Zoom, and we'll spend, 15, 20 minutes just looking at their online presence. And I'll find profiles and websites that they weren't even aware of that showed up, that present them in a negative light. And what we want to do is we always look at the online presence, all these search results, right? Your realtor.com profile, LinkedIn, Facebook business page, right? Profile on your brokerage website. We look at these from a neutral perspective, and we'd evaluate them based on them being positive, negative, or neutral. And if it's a neutral result, we want to make it a positive one. If it's a negative one, we want to try to get rid of it, because we're finding that if that lead that you're working on, or that referral that hasn't reached out to you yet, but is searching for you online, vetting you out, if they see one negative thing on the search results page of Google, they're not going to move forward with you, upwards of almost 50%. You guys, how many opportunities are we potentially missing out on because we haven't cultivated a strong online presence, right? Okay. So what we do know is people will Google you. What I'm going to share here in a little bit as well is the importance of reviews. You've probably heard that 1,000,000 times. I'm going to help you get a system in place for that as well. And you never know when somebody disqualifies you or really cause you to lose an opportunity. Craig said, Chrome is a website browser written by Google, and by default, we use the Google internet search engine. And Scott said, Google and Chrome, the same thing. Okay, so yeah, Craig, thanks so much for stepping in there. Scott, yeah, to answer your question, Chrome is a web browser, just like Internet Explorer, Safari, Firefox. It's created and managed by Google. Okay, but here's the thing about Chrome. You don't have to use Chrome, and further, a lead, a prospect, a referral does not have to use Chrome to search on Google. Okay, oftentimes a lot of search engines use Google search as their default search engine. Okay, not just Chrome. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in here, you guys. Let's spotlight a couple agents here, and then we're actually going to get really hands-on with the Google Business Profile today. So here's an agent, and it's so funny. Every time I pull this up, I just kind of cackle a little bit inside now because I pulled it up so many times. But this agent is an agent I met at a real estate conference in New York years ago. And after I met him, I was putting together this presentation. And so I searched for his name and I screenshotted the results. I didn't even really look at the results. Come to find out, he's the real estate agent for the Kardashians. So he may not even need a Google Business Profile. Okay, so kind of funny that I used Tomer here, but you'll notice with Tomer's search results. So I just did a search for Tomer on Google. Here's his search results, right? He's got some profiles, he's got some articles here. But if I go forward one step to another agent that I met that same conference, Alla here actually has a Google Business Profile. You'll notice that on the right-hand side, right? Now if these two agents were competing for the same business, everything else equal, who could potentially have the upper hand to winning the business? It may be the one that just has a stronger online presence, because sellers associate your strong online presence with your ability to create a strong online presence for their listing, for their property, to find the right buyer for their property. And in addition, a buyer associates a strong online presence with your ability to navigate the internet to find that, that needle in a haystack property for them. Okay, so again, this is the Google Business Profile over here on the right-hand side. Okay, here's another agent that's actually local, John. John's online presence, if you search for him on Google, you'll notice his search results there on the left-hand side, and then his Google Business Profile there on the right-hand side of the Google search results. And then you'll notice I have a little red arrow pointing to the right. If you search for John from your phone or any mobile device, the Google Business Profile comes up first before the search results. So you'll actually notice, if I can pull the annotation here, you'll notice that, see the search result down there, Gluck Group Home, that's this one here. So the very first result is actually under the Google Business Profile, ends up being the first thing people see. And what's happening too is the Google Business Profile, it's showing up first for you when you get it created in over 50% of the cases, because over 50% of searches are done from a mobile device, right? Right from phones. Okay, so we understand the Google Business Profile, where it shows up. Let's go ahead and just talk about reviews here for a second. Then we're going to get our Google Business Profile set up and then optimized. Here's one thing you'll notice, and I did this search not too long ago. I searched for top real estate agent in Phoenix. Okay, top real estate agent in Phoenix. And what I found is there were a list of agents there, or list that looks like one agent and a couple companies. And that varies, but overall it's consisted of an agent or a real estate brokerage that has a Google Business Profile and at least a 4-star rating on their Google Business Profile. So I'm going to share with you how you can get a high rating on your Google Business Profile and why you should be sending all your reviews. Anybody that you ask for a review, you should be sending them to your Google Business Profile first before any other profile. Okay, before a Yelp Business Profile, before Facebook, definitely before Zillow, unless you're a Zillow Premier Agent or you're part of the Zillow Flex program. If you're not doing business with Zillow, don't feed Zillow any reviews. In fact, what we want to do is try to get that Zillow profile out of our top 10 search results and replace it with a one that's a little more meaningful, right? Where a potential buyer or seller is not going to get lost in the black hole vortex that is Zillow and become a lead to another agent. Okay. All right. So I'm always looking out for you guys because again, I've been in your shoes, right? I've been involved in over 60 transactions myself. It's been a while, but I still remember how to do it. But again, if I were to like buy or sell these days, I'd tap into one of you guys for sure. Okay. So let's go live on Google Business. So I'm going to jump right in and share my screen here. And so what you're going to see now is I did another search for John. Okay. And you'll see on the left-hand side, again, there's his search results. He's got his website, his LinkedIn, his Instagram. On the right-hand side, there's that Google Business profile. Now, do you think John sees a lot of value in that Google Business profile? Look how many reviews he's got. Okay. John's built a team. He's built a significant size business based on having a very strong online presence that is anchored with his Google Business profile, you guys. And I want to break down just some of the elements of the profile before we dive right in and get ours created and then optimized. This photo right here is called the cover photo. You may be familiar with that terminology from Facebook. Facebook also considers that photo that's at the very top of your profile as the cover photo. But in this case, your cover photo is actually more like your headshot or your profile photo. In addition, you have the opportunity to add a logo, and that's this right here. You'll notice a couple other little windows here. This is going to be a Google Maps view and a Google Street view of your actual business address. And typically that's going to be your office. Okay, here's the name of your actual business. And this will be in the format of your first and last name. And then let me just give you another little disclaimer or warning. Anything you add after your name is not in compliance with Google business profiles. Okay, with that said, you'll notice how John has added Scottsdale Real Estate Agent. Okay, Scottsdale Real Estate Agent. I bet if I type in Scottsdale Real Estate Agent into Google, let's see if John shows up anywhere. And look at that. He actually shows up organically, the very first Google business profile. And this is called the Google Local Map Pack, which is the top 3 Google business profiles related to whatever the search term that we search for is. But I will say this, you guys. So John is probably benefiting from this, right? He's showing up first. Scottsdale Real Estate Agent, he's showing up first organically. Now, above him are ads. And then above that are what are called Google Local Business Service ads. So this is all paid ads, first organic or non-paid result is his. Okay, is his Google Business profile. So if I click on that, it'll pull up his Google Business profile right here. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so here's what I want to say though. I mentioned a disclaimer. This is not compliant. So in other words, if Google were to catch wind of this or someone were to report him, his profile would probably get suspended. Okay, so you're kind of playing with fire a little bit. It's benefiting him. He's somehow slipped through the radar up to this point, but he could get in trouble for it. His profile could get suspended because Google says that your business name, which is this, should be the exact name of your business. And for you as a real estate agent, your business name is either your first and last name or your first and last name, comma, PLLC, typically. Okay, so it literally would be your official business name. Now, you guys, off the record, if you get creative here and you don't get caught, right? And this is not a violation of anything with the Department of Real Estate, guys. This is just Google. Okay, so you can really use this opportunity, this business name, as a way to be found more frequently. So I've seen agents, do things like, John Gluck, Scottsdale Real Estate Agent, or John Gluck, top listing agent Phoenix, right? Again, violation of their terms of service, but it's possible. What I would recommend though, I'm going to go conservative on this. I'm going to say your business name is just going to be your first and last name, comma, realtor. Okay. First and last name, comma, realtor. I would play it safe. You're welcome to change the name. Again, you can play around with it. I wouldn't play around with it too much. If you do get suspended, you're going to have to you'll be able to reactivate your profile. And you have to jump through a bunch of hoops. And ultimately you're going to have to change the business name to just your first and last name. Okay, you guys, let's continue through this. And again, if you have any questions on anything I'm covering here, just again, go ahead and unmute yourself. You'll see he's got a website connected to this. Somebody can click here for directions to the business address. They can actually save the business listing to a group of saved businesses they have connected to Google Maps. They can also one-click call. If we were on a mobile device, there would also be a messaging option here where they could send him a text message right from the profile. So a lot of great functionality, especially as it relates to somebody getting in contact with you. Okay. And I guess one thing I don't want to pass over is when you create the Google business profile, you have a profile here on the Google search results page and in Google Maps. Okay. And in Google Maps. So for example, if I click on this map here, it will actually pull up his profile and pin where his location is on Google Maps. Okay. Nancy asked, can I get a copy of the recording? The recordings will all be on, I believe, the Facebook business page, YouTube for sure. So go to the We Serve YouTube channel, and this recording will be on that channel. Okay. Awesome, you guys. So I'm just going to kind of scroll down through. Again, I want to point out the major features of the profile. Then we're going to get in and create one. You'll see 5-star ranking, 212 reviews here. If I click on the Google reviews, it'll actually pull up those reviews right here. Allow me to write a review for John. Underneath, we've got the business address. We've got his hours of operation. I'm going to go ahead and expand that. He's in operation from 6 to 10. Okay, so he's a part-time agent. Because we all know we work 24 hours a day, right, guys? Phone, appointments. He has a specific appointment link, right? And this probably takes, let's go ahead and click on that, see where that takes people, right to his resources section on his website. Okay. What I would recommend, and let me actually show you what I do with mine. Here's my profile. Under appointments, it actually takes to a booking link on Calendly where somebody can book a session with me. Okay. So you may want to connect, again, your profile, the appointment section to your website contact page, but I would say make it very easy for someone to set an appointment with you or get on your calendar. And one of my favorite tools, I'll cover it a little more at the end, is called Calendly. That's a free tool that allows you to do that. He's got products here. So look, he's actually displaying listings right here. In addition, he's also sharing some of the services that he offers. Okay. These are most likely his listings. You could also include groups of homes. You could say, homes in Peoria near golf course for under $750. I don't know. That may not exist at this point. But right. And that could be a link directly to that saved search on the MLS, or maybe you use another real estate search platform, KV Core, Boomtown, something like that. You could direct them right to that saved search. Okay, so that's the product section. If we continue to scroll down, there's a Q&A section, right, where he's got 4 questions and answers. Underneath that, you'll see reviews from the web. Google has automatically found his Facebook and Zillow profiles and went ahead and pulled those in there. Here's some sample reviews. Here's his bio. And here's actually a few more things here, you guys. You actually have a news feed. Now, I'm not going to say, hey, you need to post to your Google business profile every day, but it's an additional profile for you to be found, for your content to be found on Google. And Google, as we know, is a search engine, right? It indexes or crawls or spiders, right? All the content that's on the internet, and it makes it available to people when they do a search. Well, this is that content. So if somebody was searching for how to remove contingencies when buying a house, it's likely that this article would show up in the Google search results page. Okay. And let me just continue to scroll forward. I want to show you what this newsfeed actually looks like. So here's the full feed. And what those that may even have a Google business profile we're not aware of is that you actually have a full newsfeed on your Google business profile. Okay. So now you may be upset at me. You're like, Aaron, great. Another place that I need to post. And I'm sorry, you guys. But here's what I would say. Just post once a week here. Once a week, and it shouldn't take you more than about 30 minutes a week. And that same post that you add to your Google business profile, add that same post to your Facebook business page, to LinkedIn, Twitter if you're there, right? You could turn it into a video, post it to YouTube, post it to, Instagram, I mean, you could turn it into something that could be posted to TikTok. I mean, you guys, I don't know what social media platforms you're using, but again, I wouldn't reinvent the wheel when it comes to content. I would just make it mine and post it everywhere, because the win is when your content's actually seen and found. And then last but not least, we've got the profiles here. Again, these were not set up by John. What happened was the Google Business Profile automatically created a connection to his Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, just based on his information, the information he provided, like his name, address, phone number, etc. Okay, so the news feed, and I'm going to show you how to post the news feed, guys. But again, I just wanted to show you the kind of the makeup and layout of a Google Business Profile. Somebody asked about the news feed. Where was that? What I did was I scrolled down, and the news feed for John was right here. Okay, it was right here. These are the posts. And if you continue through about 6 or 7 posts, it'll actually allow you to view all. And here's the news feed. Okay. And it's just a news feed of John's posts, nobody else's posts. Okay. Hopefully that helps answer your question. Okay. You guys, pretty robust profile. Wouldn't you agree? That's funny, Stacy. Okay. So you guys, let's go ahead and jump in. Here's what we're going to do. To create a Google Business Profile, we're going to go to business.google.com. Business.google.com. And it may ask you to sign in or manage now. Sign in or manage now. So you may see a screen that looks like the one you're seeing now, or you may see a screen that looks like this. Okay. Where it's saying sign in or manage now in the top right. Okay. What you want to do is click on sign in and sign into your Google Business Profile sign in with your Gmail account. Okay. Or any Google account that you have email access to that you check on a regular basis. Here's the other thing just to be aware of is that Gmail account is not publicly visible on your Google Business Profile. So, if it's like something fun or silly or that you've had for a long time, it's like, Aaron loves, Aaron loves like, Mexican food at gmail.com. That's fine. Nobody's ever going to see it as long as it's an email address that you check. Okay. Because you want to be notified. You want to be aware when you have a new review so that you can respond to it. Okay. That's pretty much the only thing you're going to get emailed to you from your profile. So go ahead and click sign in. Let's go ahead and sign into your account. Okay. And anybody have any questions on this process? What we ultimately want to do is get you to a screen that looks like this, where you're going to create your profile. And Michaela asked, are we supposed to be doing this as well? If you want to do it right along with me, by all means, you guys. I mean, now's the best time to do things, right? So heck yeah. I mean, and you've got me here. I've set up literally thousands of these things. So if you have any questions, I can help you out. Yes, question.
When I hit the sign in, it takes me to this page here that you have on your screen.
Okay, perfect. You're in the right place.
Oh, okay. Because I thought we were looking for our Google accounts.
Okay, so you're logged in. If you look on the right-hand side, the top right, see how you'll probably have a little initial there, or you might even see your little profile photo there. And that's just going to show you, right? That's just going to show you the Google account you're logged into. If you want to switch accounts, you can also always just quickly swap accounts to one that you may be already signed into as well, or you can add another account. Yeah. So oftentimes you may share a computer with one of your kids or your significant other. So, hey, here's the thing, you guys. Worst case scenario, you set the Google Business Profile up under a Gmail account that is like somebody else's. We can always transfer it over to you. It's not the, it's not the end of the day there for you. Okay. Do you sign in with your personal Gmail or non-Gmail brokerage account email? Mary, what I would say is, here's the thing, you guys. Hopefully you're with your brokerages forever throughout your entire career. But if for some reason you decide to make a move and you've signed up with your brokerage email account that you access through Google, you're going to have a challenge getting back in, especially when your email gets turned off from your old brokerage. Makes sense? So what I would recommend, use your personal Gmail account. Yeah, just makes it easy, right? Just in case you move brokerages at some point. Okay, you all should be seeing a screen that looks like this if you're following along. If that's the case, what you want to do is go ahead and just type in your business name. So I'm going to type in Aaron Lacey. If you see what appears to be a result show up here that actually has your name, maybe the word realtor afterwards, has your location, then you may already have a Google Business Profile and you might not have been aware of it. A service like HomeSnap, if that rings a bell, may have created a Google Business Profile for you in the past automatically, right? When you signed up for HomeSnap and you not even have been aware of it, okay? So if that's the case, go ahead and just select that profile. Just go ahead and select that one and it will give you the option to get ownership of that. If nothing is shown up, what we want to do is go ahead and click on create a business with this name. So I'm going to go ahead.
I have a question for you real quick. If you
Please.
have a very common name and it pops up with, like my name's Nicole Gonzalez. So there's when I type in my business name, there's 5 Nicole Gonzalez Realtors in different locations that pop up. Should I do anything different or?
I would just stick with that. And here's why, Nicole. Yeah,
okay.
So great question. This Google Business is very local, very localized. Now, if Nicole, there are other Nicole Gonzalez Realtors in the area that you work, we may need to put a little extra effort into your profile beyond this. But at the end of the day, you guys, and Nicole, you may be in competition with those other Nicole Gonzalez that are in your market area, right?
Yeah.
So what I would say is use your first and last name, comma realtor. And I guess, obviously the proper way to write realtors in all caps. You're going to be fine, Nicole, because I think if somebody's looking for you and they're in your specific area, it's likely your profile will show up. What we'll also do is I'll show you how to optimize it to ensure that it shows up. Like we'll add your bio with your name in your bio, your brokerage in your bio, some other ways so that if they're, really trying to find you, they'll be able to find you easily. Okay. Hopefully that helps.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you.
My pleasure. Yeah. So I'd go ahead and just move forward with first, last name, comma realtor.
Quick question. For those that have designations, would you suggest putting the designation in there as well?
I would not add the designation. And again, technically it's not in compliance. The other thing about designations, you guys, just from a public perception standpoint, most people have no idea what the designation means. They know it's something fancy. And so, but they don't recognize it. So it's not super meaningful to them, if that makes sense. So yeah, I would skip the designations. Awesome, you guys. So what you want to do is if you can't find your business there, you click on add your business to Google. And now we're going to start building our business profile. Okay. So you should see a screen that looks like this if you're following along. And I'm going to go ahead and just, again, type my name in again. So I'm going to do Aaron Lacey Realtor. Okay. So create a business with this name. So we'll click there. Business category. We're going to do real estate agent. Real estate agent. And then click on next. Okay. So notice how we selected this from the drop down that showed up as I started typing in real estate. It's that drop down, or in this case, the drop up. And so I selected real estate agent. Okay. And I clicked on next. And now it's asking, do I want to add a location customers can visit like a store or office? And yes, I do. I want to add my brokerage address there. Okay. I want to add my brokerage. So I'm going to put yes. I'm going to click on next. And it's going to ask what the address is. Okay. So let's just go ahead and type in an address. I'm going to type in kind of a fictitious address here. So I'm going to type that in. I'm going to click on next. Okay. So go ahead and type your brokerage address there. If you don't have an address, you guys, there's still a way you could actually skip that. I don't recommend doing that, but you could do that. Bob asked, can more than one business profile claim the same address like other agents in my office? Yes. And I'll actually show you in the next step. And let me see if it shows up for me. Okay. So for me, it says, is this your business? And it may show some of the agents that are in your brokerage, or it may show the actual brokerage address. Like it may show like Realty One Group or HomeSmart or something like that, Remax, right? What you want to do is say, this doesn't match. Okay. This doesn't match. Even if it's your brokerage, this doesn't match. Okay. Because we're going to create a separate business listing just for ourselves that share, just so happen to share the same address as a brokerage and other agents. Make sense? Anybody run into any obstacles here? So this doesn't match. If you see that, we're going to go ahead and click on next now. Okay. Do you provide deliveries or home and office visits? The answer is yes. This is going to allow us to create what are called service areas. Okay. Because we don't want to just be limited to our brokerage address, especially if our brokerage, maybe we do most of our real estate in Goodyear, and just so happens our brokerage address is in Peoria. Okay. Well, we don't want to be limited just to Peoria. We want to expand into Goodyear as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the areas we serve. And for today, we're just going to add 5. So we'll go ahead and add like Goodyear, for example. Oops. Okay, so here's Goodyear. It looks like that's a, by the way, you guys, has anyone been to, this is so interesting, this showed up right under Goodyear, it's hard to see that, but is Goodyear's Bar. Has anyone been to Goodyear's Bar before? I have, and that is the smallest mining town in Northern California. And like, gosh, I don't even know the county, but it's like up in the, yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere, you guys. It is stunningly beautiful, Goodyear's Bar. Okay, so Goodyear, Arizona, maybe Avondale. Maybe work in Avondale as well. I'm going to expand my browser a little bit so we can start to see these a little better. I'll go ahead and plug in Peoria, of course. And I'm going to add in 5. Now, you can add in up to 20. You could add in even more than 20 if you want. The more locations you add in, the less likely you are to show up organically if somebody's searching for an agent in those locations, because you're like diluting yourself. In other words, and to flip that around, the less locations you add, the more likely you are to show up for one of these specific areas, if that makes sense. So the more areas I add in, the less likely I am to show up for one of these areas.
Aaron, are you allowed to add a subdivision for some of the agents who are wondering about that?
Oh, let's give that a shot. Let's go Sun City. Yeah, Sun City West. Subdivisions, no. These are just going to be cities, kind of established cities that Google is aware of. Yeah. So great question. Yeah. So Sun City Grand. Yeah, it looks like that is showing up. Interesting, you guys. And these are in Surprise. So yes, here's the thing. Let's say that you specialize in Sun City Grand. What I would do is I would remove every location and just put Sun City Grand. And now you are highly likely to show up if somebody searches for an agent in Sun City Grand. Make sense? Now, they don't even have to search Google for real estate agent near Sun City Grand. If they're in Sun City Grand and they just search Google for real estate agent near me, you're going to pop up, or you're likely to pop up. Okay. Okay. So, all right. So let's just grab a few others. We'll grab Peoria. We'll add Glendale. Okay. Let's just say Goodyear. All right. For you Southeast Valley folks. Now, here's the thing. If I jumped over the Southeast Valley now I'm really expanding that territory, right? I'm really diluting it. Okay. You guys, so I'd recommend stick to a pretty central area. Okay. Someone mentioned their profile service areas, Arizona. Hey, you could go Arizona. You could go Arizona, right? You do all of Arizona. It's just unlikely you would ever show up organically if somebody searched for a real estate agent near them or in a specific city. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and move forward. You guys, hopefully you've got down what you need here. Again, just my 2 cents, choose, the more specific you are, the more likely you are to show up organically for folks. Contact information. Let's go ahead and plug in our info here. Okay. We want to put in our phone number here, you guys. You could use like a marketing number if you wanted to, a Google Voice number if you want, if you're kind of tracking and monitoring calls from the different marketing campaigns you're doing. I would just put my cell phone number here though, frankly. And then website URL. You guys, here's what I would say. If you don't have your first and last name.com, for Nicole, that might be hard, right? But for the rest of us, it might actually be a challenge as well. Most domain names are taken, but what you want ultimately is something like this, your first and last name.com, that you could you don't even need a website set up for it. You just want to point it to maybe your brokerage profile. Highly recommend you get a website. That's another session. You could do Aaron Lacy, realtor.com, Aaron Lacy real estate.com, Aaron Lacy, homes.com, right? So Nicole Gonzalez, az.com, Nicole Gonzalez homes.com, right? Just something that's easy to remember, easy to recognize. Okay. I'd buy that domain name on GoDaddy and then just again, point it to an existing profile that you have. Okay. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to click on next. If you don't have a website, you don't have a domain name, that's fine too. Just go ahead and click on I don't have a website. Okay. So for the sake of this, I'll just click on I don't have a website for now. I'm going to click on next. Okay. Now it's asking me how I want to verify. Nicole said, I ended up with your next nest AZ. Everything with my name was taken. Is it okay not to have your name in your website? Yeah, absolutely, Nicole. It's totally fine not to have your name in your website. It just makes it more of a relevant result on Google if your name is in your domain name for your website. Makes sense? Plus, it looks really professional if you have a website that has your name, and in addition, an email address that has your name. So let's say that you were able to find NicoleGonzalezHomes.com. Now imagine if you also had an email address that was Nicole@NicoleGonzalezHomes.com, right? And so maybe you're working leads or you're working with referrals or whatever, you're doing some marketing, and maybe agent A has Nicole Gonzalez Homes@gmail.com, and you have Nicole@NicoleGonzalezHomes.com. Right? They're going to go, you seem a little more professional. You seem like you're a little more set up, if you will. Your business is a little more set up for success. Okay. Kind of a perception thing. I should have kept my maiden name. Awesome. Okay, you guys. So how to verify? Likely you're going to see verify postcard by mail. Sorry, go ahead. Oh, I thought I heard someone there for a second. You guys, you may see verify by text message, like by phone, SMS or phone call. Does anybody see something else? There's verify by video. There's, so if you see something else here, let me know what you want to do though. If you have verify by phone, go ahead and send a text message or an SMS to yourself and you can verify immediately. Otherwise, it's most likely that you're seeing postcard by mail. Go ahead and just plug your name in there one more time and click on mail. Okay. What that's going to do is cause Google to mail a postcard to this address. And by the way, if that address is not correct, what you could do is, you could go back and we can eventually change that, or you could just click on mail and then we can change it and remail. Okay. But if this looks good, go ahead and type your name in there and then click on mail. And just know that Google will now mail a postcard to this address, and it's most likely going to be your brokerage address. It's going to take around 5 days to arrive. Okay. It's going to come from Sunnyvale, California. So it usually comes even quicker than 5 business days. But have your front desk person, whoever checks the mail for the brokerage, just, connect with them and say, hey, I'm expecting a postcard. Or if you have a big brokerage, just check in with them and say, hey, have you found a postcard for me? You don't need to actually physically pick up the postcard. They could just open it and say, hey, by the way, there's a website address and a code here. That's all you need to do to verify your profile. This is just a simple verification process. Again, they just mail you a postcard that has a website address and a code on the postcard. You just go to the website address, insert the code, you're good to go. Okay. So once you click on mail, now you're going to set up the profile. Now you're going to set up the profile. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll click on, I'm going to go ahead and click on mail. This address is going to, actually, there's no suite number here, so I don't know if this is actually going to make it anywhere. So I'll go ahead and click on continue. So now you're going to see this, you guys. Manuel said, if your name.com is not available, would you use .net or .realtor? Manuel, here's what I would say. I would stick with a .com, even if I had to add additional verbiage after my name and before the .com part. I'd stick with .com. You know what I mean? So yeah, for you, Manuel Robles, az.com. Manuel Robles, realestate.com, Manuel Robles homes.com. Okay. Okay. Awesome, you guys. So now add your services. Okay. Add your services. Why are we adding services here? Because oftentimes people are searching Google for service providers, for real estate agents that offer services like this, like buying agent services.
One thing that he said is if you include your name and your brokerage in your bio for your Google My Business, it'll kick you up on the search when they search your name.
It's likely to play a role in that, Jackie. And yeah, if you have your first and last name in the domain name that you use for your website, it's going to see your profile as being more relevant for your name. So if you're in competition with others like Nicole is, or Manuel, maybe there's other real estate agents with your same first and last name here, Google will see your profile as being more relevant to you, your first and last name, if you have a domain name, a .com that's also your first and last name, or at least has it in the domain name, if that makes sense. I know we're getting a little technical, you guys. If that doesn't make a lot of sense, don't worry about it. Okay, you're not missing out on much. Okay, but if you understand that, then try to get that domain name with your first and last name in it, at least to start the domain name. Your services. What you can do is you can select existing ones here. Okay, so first-time home buyer services, buying agent services, right? Select whichever ones are applicable to you. Okay. Luxury property buying and sales, right? Who doesn't want to work $1 million properties? Okay. Relocation assistance, seller's agent services, real estate investing. Okay. And then you could have selected more or less. And then you can also add in custom services. So if you click on add custom services, you could say things like contract, negotiation, home staging, and, pre-sale, preparation. Okay. You, as a real estate professional, you offer a lot of services to the market. Break those down, figure out what all those are. Okay. I would say, complimentary home valuation. Right. You could, again, get in really, really detailed with what you offer. Okay. No limit to the amount of services you can add there. And if you're familiar with search engine optimization or SEO, these are all keywords that people might be searching for that may cause your profile to show up. Okay. And again, the relationship to your profile showing up on the first page of the Google search results is that somebody's going to see it. They're going to click call. They're going to click message. They're going to go to your website, right? It's going to be good for business. Let me jump back in here, add business hours. You guys, here's what I would say. I would just go ahead and go with 24 hours. So what you want to do is mark yourself open for, 7 days. Now, if you take Saturday or Sunday off or a day during the week, by all means, you can put closed. I would not do that. This is basically the window in which your profile is able to show up on Google. I want that to be 24/7. So what you're going to do is click here, 24 hours. And again, what we did was we just turned Monday on. We clicked opens at 24 hours, 24 hours. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go through all these and select 24 hours. John had 6 to 10, you'll notice, right? 6 to 10. So the 6 to 10, again, it's just personal preference. At one point, that was working better with Google. They thought it was a more legitimate business. 24 hours is working as well now. Okay. Click on next. Add messaging. Yes, absolutely. We want people to be able to message us from a mobile device. We'll click on, make sure that's selected, click on next.
Hey,
Add
real
our-
quick, sorry,
please.
Aaron, when I just hit the open 24 hours, it's requiring me to put in a time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, let me go back.
I can skip it, but if I just if I just hit open on every day, it says, please provide a valid time.
It doesn't allow, there's no 24-hour option.
Okay, never mind, sorry.
Oh, no,
There it is.
you're fine.
I missed the little, okay, I didn't, I
Tina,
just
you're
thought you hit
fine.
okay.
Yeah. You guys, I see something new with this every day. I'm not kidding. They're tweaking things, switching things around. So I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, if you, and some of you might not have a 24-hour option. In that case, I would just go, something real early to something real late every day. Yeah. So, yep. No, so good point. Awesome. Let's click on next, you guys. Again, we want to add messaging, make sure that's enabled. You guys might be seeing some additional steps here or something a little different than what you're seeing on my screen. That's okay. Do your best to select the option that you feel is the best fit, or go ahead and ask. Happy to help you there. Add business description. This is going to be your condensed version of your bio. You're going to be limited to 750 characters. Okay. So you'll want to input something in here. What I typically will do is I'll go to my bio on LinkedIn or on my brokerage website or somewhere else where I know I've taken the time to really create a thoughtful bio. I'll copy it, paste it in here. It'll cut it off somewhere usually, because most of our bios are over 750 characters. And then I'll just kind of trim it down a little bit, make it work. Okay. I'm just going to skip this for now though, since I don't have anything to add. Add photos of your business. What we're going to do here, you guys, we're going to go ahead and click on skip. Okay. I'll show you how to add those photos, and we're going to skip the $500 free advertising credit. Okay. Because we don't even have the profile set up yet or optimized. So I'm going to skip that. And it says your edits will be visible once you're verified. Great. I'm going to go ahead and click on continue. Now you'll notice it just drops me right here. Okay, it drops me right on the Google search results page with a search for my business. And then it says we're not publicly visible. This is basically as far as we're going to get with our profile as we await that postcard to verify it. Here's what I would say though, you guys, couple ways for you to come back in and update your profile. Number one, go to google.com and search for your name. So if I search for my name, I now can actually edit my profile right from the Google search results page. The second way, and Google's actually removing this way, but it still exists, is simply to go to business.google.com. Business.google.com. So business.google.com. You'll see a screen that looks like this, and then you'll go ahead and you won't actually have those options there. You'll see then your dashboard. Okay, should look like this, Google Business Profile Manager. Okay, the last couple things I want to do here, you guys, and it's amazing how time flies when we're having fun with this stuff. Let's get your photos added. The eighth option down on the left-hand side is photos. We're going to go ahead and click on photos. And what we want to do is add your cover photo and your logo. Cover photo, again, will be your headshot. Logo will be your brokerage logo. Okay. So those should show up right here. See where it says add video, it says video and then add video. You should see cover, add cover, logo, add logo. Okay. Go ahead and get those added. And then the last thing I want to leave you with is under info. Under info, this is where you're going to go to edit all the aspects of your profile. Your location, your category, adding or removing service areas, your hours of operation, your website address, your appointment link, any products that you have, any services that you offer. And then near the bottom, your bio. Okay. Your bio. So again, that's right on the Google Business Profile Manager, business.google.com, and then you're going to click on info. Okay. Are you able to give us any tips if we already have it set up for an extended period? Scott, yes. Some tips for you, sir. Here's what I want to leave you guys with. These are a little more advanced tips. You've got your review form here. This is your shortened URL here. What I would do is I would take this, email this link to myself so that I have it handy, so I can easily email this out to folks, because when they go ahead and click on that link, they will be taken to a screen that looks just like this, where they can give us 5-star, leave us a review, and click post. Take it to the next level. What I would do is I would sign up for a service like Calendly for your appointment URL. So I'm going to go to Calendly, and I'm going to go ahead and sign up for a free account. Okay. And I'm going to create a calendar URL that I am going to then insert right into my profile under info appointment link. Okay. And in fact, you'll notice I actually bought a domain name for my Calendly appointment link. Again, just to look even more sharp. Here's what else I would say, you guys. Arrivala, free review tool. Arrivala, ARRIVALA.com. Sign up for this free tool. Plug in your Google review link right into that tool. So you'll go on your Google business dashboard, share review form, copy that review link, go right to Arrivala, set up a free account, plug in that link here. There'll be it'll walk you right through it. You can now ask for up to 10 reviews a month using Arrivala. And the nice thing is Arrivala will follow up with people until they review you on your Google business profile. The last tool I want to share with you guys is how do you get content for your Google business profile? You're going to go to Google Alerts, set up alerts, create saved alerts so that you get notified as soon as Google does about anything that has to do with you or the markets that you serve. And actually, I'm going to share one more advanced tool. Again, thank you so much for sticking around, Scott. This is a very advanced tool. I'll share the URL actually right into the chat for you. This allows you to add a longitude and latitude to any photos that you add to your Google business profile. Why would you do that? Well, you would do that because under photos, Google actually looks at what's called the metadata. And again, if this doesn't ring a bell for you, no worries. It looks at the location that your photos were taken, and it uses that to add to the relevance that you have for that specific location. So how would you use this tool? For your cover photo, your logo, and any additional photos you ever add to your profile under posts or products, if those photos weren't taken in the area that you specialize in, what you want to do is take that photo, upload it here, okay? And then you want to add the latitude and longitude for the city that you utilize, that you specialize in. And then it will actually save that location to the photo. You download your photo right from here, then re-upload it to your Google business profile. Now your profile will be even more relevant to those areas that you specialize in. You guys, I hope that made sense. You guys, if it didn't, if you have any questions, if you got stuck somewhere, if you're like, Aaron, you went super fast, or Aaron, I want to take a deep dive. You guys, please let me know. Please let me know. Happy to help you. Reach out to me, getwithaaron.com, or connect with Jonah. He's got access to my calendar, you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you to our sponsors, you guys. And I hope everybody walks away today with something of value, you guys. So appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Aaron. That was great.
Yes, thank you, Aaron. We appreciate that. If anyone wants to join Aaron in the next class he has is on July 22nd, 9 to 10. It's called Top 10 Sales Tips for Realtors. Aaron, as always, a wealth of information that is super valuable to our agents, and we appreciate your time. We appreciate the information and the knowledge. Thank you again, sponsors. And we thank you everyone for attending today. And we will be putting this up on the website, and we appreciate everybody's time.
Have a great day.
Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.